nature's powers to significantly reduce our risk of dying from virtually all of the major killers today. Together, these chronic diseases contribute to nearly 90% of all non-accidental deaths in the United States. Let's take a very brief look at some of the evidence supporting vitamin D's role as a sentinel of overall health in just two areas: cancer prevention and immune function. More than 2,500 studies now have been published confirming vitamin D's role in prevention of cancer. Together, the findings suggest that vitamin D may very well be the single most effective means of cancer prevention, even outpacing the benefit of a healthy diet. Exposure of cancerous prostate cells to vitamin D causes the cells to immediately convert the vitamin to its active form, thereby stopping the chaotic reproduction and growth of these aberrant cells. It appears to do so by inducing apoptosis, or cellular suicide, in precancerous tissues, and by inhibiting angiogenesis, the formation of new blood vessels needed to nourish cancerous growth. The fact that activated vitamin D can regulate cellular function and growth has overwhelming implications. It means that when you are exposed to strong sunlight or supplement with high levels of vitamin D, excess vitamin D can be stored in cellular tissues to be activated at any time in order to regulate aberrant cell growth that can lead to cancer, effectively snuffing out cancer before it takes hold. We now know that vitamin D from strong sunlight is responsible for preventing cancers of the breast, ovaries, colon, prostate, bladder, uterus, esophagus, rectum, and stomach. In fact, the further you live from the equator, the greater is your risk of dying from cancer, period. Some researchers now contend that low vitamin D status may be a predisposing factor in all cancers. For years, the evidence has mounted that sun exposure is an effective prevention and a treatment for immune disorders. Like cancer, the prevalence of these disorders correlates directly with latitude. The further you deviate from the equatorial zone, where sunlight is always strong, the higher is the incidence of these diseases. The importance of sunlight to the body's immune response is demonstrated each year when the waning sunlight of autumn precedes the flu season. We now know that macrophages, the principal germ-killing cells of our immune system, can independently activate vitamin D from their cellular stores. In the presence of activated vitamin D, macrophages switch on the genes, controlling the manufacture of cathelicidin, a protein that specifically targets and kills infectious agents. One recent study demonstrated an astounding 90% reduction in upper respiratory tract infections when supplemented with 2,000 international units of vitamin D compared to the currently prescribed RDA dose of 400 IUs per day. In fact, the evidence supporting vitamin D's efficacy in reducing viral-borne infections, such as seasonal influenza, is so strong, many physicians, and I wholeheartedly agree, now recommend boosting daily intakes to 5,000 IU per day or more during the flu season, rather than to submit to the questionable effectiveness and risk of the flu shot. Let me talk for a moment about findings on vitamin D and multiple sclerosis, an autoimmune disease we have been focusing on with great success at Sonovy Medical Institute in Baja, California. Multiple sclerosis is a neurological disorder of young people caused by the formation of multiple lesions or scars in specialized nerve cells that control muscle function. MS has a geographic basis. Its expression is related to latitude and degree of exposure to sunlight. The disease is 500 times more likely to affect you if you live in a temperate zone than if you live in the tropics. If you live north of latitude 37, take a line from San Francisco through Las Vegas over to Washington, D.C. For the first 10 years of your life, if you live there, there's a 100% increase in your chance of developing multiple sclerosis than if you were to live near the equator. For years, we have known that vitamin D supplementation can effectively reduce the risk of MS and other autoimmune diseases. Now we are beginning to understand why. Sun exposure early in life or supplementation with vitamin D activates the youthful thymus to destroy cells. Yes, by apoptosis. Cells that could eventually attack the myelin sheath surrounding cells in our central nervous system. Destruction of this insulated protective sheath, much like the frame of an electrical cord, disrupts the nerve signal that controls muscular movement, resulting in multiple sclerosis. Treatment of advanced stages of MS with high doses of vitamin D has proved disappointing because by that time, the affected nerves are already damaged. However, Italian researchers have recently demonstrated that MS symptoms can often be fully resolved by removing blockages in major veins of the neck, which drain waste products and toxins from the head. At Sonovy, we've had great success in using this treatment, along with nutrition, detoxification, and aggressive vitamin D therapy in resolving MS symptoms. Adequate levels of vitamin D in early life affect vascular integrity. And I believe we will learn that regular sun exposure with vitamin D supplementation just may be the best course of action for preventing this debilitating disease. Indeed, vitamin D's immune modulating talents make it one of our most reliable and nutritional tools in boosting comprehensive immunity. It explains my observations so many years ago at Edward Hospital, leading me to wonder why sunlight was such an effective therapy for so many disease states.